friendly neighborhood PhD, and you're listening to the Tide Pod. Well, hey, everybody, it's another episode of the Tide Pod, and today I'm joined by Sydnee, who goes by the username, but if not 90 on Instagram. And I want to lead off first, like, what is the inspiration of that username?
Oh, I love that question. So I think originally I just wanted to change my YouTube name because it was up on my TV and it looked dumb. But at that time I wasn't planning on a YouTube. And there is a scripture in Daniel that talks about that if what is it if the Lord delivers us, praise the Lord. But if He doesn't, but if not, we still will not bow down. And so much of what I've been through has been so heartrending because I had so much of a normal childhood for 15 minutes at least. And so I was grieving that loss. And as a believer, I want to be faithful to the Lord. And I was afraid. I'm like, I know what's in my heart. Like, I want to be faithful to the Lord. I love Him with everything in me, but I know I can't do it. And it's year after year after year, the Lord's faithfulness through me has proved that. But if not, the but if not isn't me, it's Him. And it was just personal for me in my house. And then I was getting ready to start YouTube, and I was like, that's it.
Well, and it's like one of those names too that it catches your attention right away too. You're like, well, I want to know the backstory behind, what that is, because it's not like, like at Sydnee 57 or like, how it's the random generic name. So like that's really cool to, to know that it has like that connection and meaning for you, and finding your faith and dealing with chronic illness and disability, is a big deal for, for so many. So, but that's really, really cool to know, the meaning for it there. But okay, so I had another icebreaker. So this one's kind of music based. So like, is there kind of a song, and you can go like way back into your history, or you can go like in the last week? Like, is there a song that's, I know, let's just make it music focused the whole time.
No, I mean, I could just talk about it forever.
Yeah, like, is there a song that, that you particularly go to that, helps you kind of cope with things?
Man, I don't even know where to start. There is a fairly new artist called Hayden. I think he's newer. Gosh darn. And I tend to go like cycle through music.
Yep.
And I get stuck for a while. I swear.
Yeah.
Not like it's a problem to be on the spectrum, but I promise you, I get hyper fixated on music, like cyclically, like I am. I love Keith and Kristen Getty's music. They do a lot of modern like takes on hymns, but they also write their own.
Okay.
I like Shane and Shane, very similar guys. I really enjoy the Hayden's music. There's a song called Spiral, and that came out very recently. And
that is such an interesting thing because I was literally feeling Spiral like this morning. And that's funny that's the name of it. So I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yes, it's really good because there's a part of it. This chorus is, am I getting stuck? Nope, it's just on a lower setting. Okay. The chorus says, Job didn't know it, but there was a reason why hope was hard to find. Like, why was this happening to him? And I think the question when you go through suffering is why? Like, God, if you're good, why? Why would you do this? And a lot of people think he's done it. He didn't do it. He's allowing it. There's a purpose in it. And so, you can feel alone when you're walking through this stuff and you're not becoming embittered. I mean, the chronic illness community is kind of scary. I gotta say, they're full of a lot of upset, hurt, angry people, and understandably, but at the same time, like the God has so much grace. And so when I was listening to that particular part, I was like, oh, that's my heart. Like, Job didn't know but the reason why. And I had a friend who had a stroke. She was 27, just got married, didn't have any major health issues, and I was able to talk with her, and she was like, you just get it. And I was like, yeah. And so to be able to offer hope to people who've already gone through so much and be like, you don't have to end up being a jerk. Like,
that's
God
true.
is still good. You're
right.
You're resigning to it. Life changes and you lose abilities, but that doesn't change that life's over. It's changing. There is a process.
Adapting and changing and accepting what's going on.
It's a new normal, and you'll get there. But you gotta trust that that he is who he says he is, and so I love Hayden's music. It's very small. I don't even know how big of a musician he is. Gum, his words they cut straight to the heart.
Yeah. Well, I just find that everybody I ask the music question, it's like I go back thinking, well, this is the hardest question of the entire episode because it is so transitional, right? Like it's based on like where we're at, what the symptoms are like that. I mean,
Mm,
like that day, like
yes.
I tend to cycle through all kinds of genres and feelings with it and everything. So,
Mm.
I think that's a big part of it.
I'm
Um,
so careful. I've always been careful with what I listen to because I am
yeah.
very easily moved emotionally,
So if you
especially
hear
by
the wrong
music.
kind, it could sway you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I there's so many different types of music that are fun, but I literally am led out by music and I have to
Mm,
guard myself against what I listen to. So if I am going to listen to something that's because my heart is grieving, I'm not going to go turn on, praise and worship, but I am going to
mm,
go turn on songs of lament that help me process that, but through the
yeah.
lens of hope. Like I don't want
Yeah.
to stay that way for
Yeah.
the rest of the day. Like I
No,
want
that's
a reason to keep
true.
moving up, not moving
Yeah.
further down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And that's something else too. There is like times, like periods of sadness and grieving and things, but it's like it is something that I feel, it's I don't want to say it's a silver lining, but it's
mhm,
just like still trying to find things that you enjoy or that, people you can share things with. Like
mhm.
it's music that feels good and kind of lifts you out of it too. So I mean it's, I don't think there's like a would you say one size fits all approach
No.
to dealing with it. But personally I do agree with you, that you have to guard, especially with the empathy that a lot of us have too. You have to guard against things that'll pull you in the wrong direction for sure. Yeah,
Especially such a fragile time in life when,
it
and
is.
honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like chronic illness and these kind of things,
Mm,
and I think everyone, because life is always not what you expect it to be. So regardless of whether or not you have a life-changing, total left field event, or you're born with a disability or whatever, we're all grieving what we thought life was, and we
mhm.
all have a capacity for what we can handle. And God gives some of us grace to go through much greater pain and suffering than others.
Mhm.
And then he gives some people less, but all of us feel overwhelmed by what we have. Like suffering really just increases our ability, can increase our ability
Right.
to handle it. There's really two ways it can kind of go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that it's something we all struggle with, and I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think so.
it, the way that the direction you head in is really going to determine. Well, I guess depending on how far out like your scope
Hmm.
is, you're going to head that direction. So if you're kind
Yeah.
of like, if I don't
Yeah.
want to be in the same spot 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 6 months from now, and I would like to recover, I actually have to work towards that. And so I also need to, consider what is contributing to my environment. Like, because sometimes you can't change that stuff. Even music, it's just like,
True.
okay, maybe it might emote a little bit with me, but when I
Hmm.
turn off music or whatever, it doesn't always just like instantly lift my mood. Sometimes I'm just like stuck there for weeks or whatever. Um,
True. Very true.
it is hard.
Yeah. I mean, there's just like you said, there's cycles that, like mentally, emotionally that we're going through with this. But actually that in mind, so your videos that I've seen, like you have some really like fun kind of sarcasm in some of them too. And I noticed that there's a few like personalities. So I noticed there was a Karen and then is it
Mara,
Mara or
yeah.
Mara? Yeah. So okay. So I got to know who
I
those
was afraid you
two.
were going to ask that question. I was getting ready and I was going through a little box and
That
I
was one of your
kind of
pre-prep
paused halfway
questions.
through a movement and I was like, you might ask me about
Oh
Mara.
no. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
So I got to ask about those two. Like what do they are they the same person or what do they represent for
That's a
what you're
great
trying to share?
question.
Yeah.
Are they the same person? I don't know. My sister asked me, she's like, I feel like some of your characters are unclear. And I'm like, who's gonna, they don't look unclear to me.
Well, I have to say, like so a friend and I have done this like creamy soup pal take on like the Garbage Pail Kids. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's like where anything that happens throughout the day, we try to create a little soup inspired character that has the traits of whatever emotion we're feeling or anything. So it's like sometimes creating those characters, I feel like, is a really helpful way to channel some of that emotion. But I'm curious, like what your take is on your characters and everything.
So after I had that initial thought, he might
Yeah.
ask me, I started thinking about it. And I think that part of it is, I think like an internalized Mara, that's me. I've not had, I don't think I've had a lot of personal experiences of like a Karen encounter
Mm,
outside of a doctor's office. I've had a
mhm,
few Karen
mhm,
encounters, Dr. Karen. But I haven't had people be rude or unkind or short with me. I also
mm,
live in the deep south in a very strongly Christianized area, so
mm,
could
mm.
have to do with that. But I find that just what the way that disability is portrayed through social media, through media in general, going back decades. The misrepresentation there, I think, set up what I expected disability to be like. So when I became disabled to the degree that I am, I really pushed hard against help for a long time because it just didn't fit the narrative that I'd been fed by media. And so I would tell myself, you just need to push harder. You don't need that. Like, that's unnecessary. And I really find that Mara character represents just this just attack from the enemy, because in reality, I know that I need them. I know and recognize that these are necessary tools for me to have a better quality of life and reduce pain and not die faster, basically. I don't know if you can say that on YouTube. You might have to bleep that out on the
Well,
live
you never
channel.
know.
I mean, anyway, so I I recognize that a lot of times it really is just the enemy in their attacks, because when you're emotionally weak like that, you're more susceptible to believing lies and thinking they're your thoughts because they're so well disguised. And when we're grieving the
True.
loss of so much, we want an answer. And so when we have a lie pop into our mind, like, well, I don't need that wheelchair. And it's like, well, actually, you're feeling degraded. You're feeling sad. You're grieving.
You're
And
not wanting to depend on something
yeah,
else to help you. Yeah.
we're so prideful. My gosh, Lord help me. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I look at that character and I really feel like it represents hidden lies that I believe that I need to reject and cling towards truth, because the reality is they are lies. Like, my occupational therapist saw me sitting in my original rigid frame little chair with my power assist,
Oh,
and she was like, or it was a he, Oscar. He was like, and this is that tier, like, this is, top 3 in the world for spinal and neuromuscular disease
mhm.
rehabilitation. And he's like, now, Sydney, why are you in that chair? And I was like, because it's more acceptable for society and I get looked at less. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, it's not good for you. Like, your posture, everything about it's all wrong.
Like that's a problem. Yeah.
My shoulders were dislocating every time I pushed it, even with the smart drive on the back. When I would kick it off, when I would go to
Mhm.
stop it, it would pull my shoulders out of socket.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was willing to yeah, oh yeah, I was willing to put myself through
And
that.
when you're like when you're out in public or something like that and you need to do like a cop assist or you need to like clear anything extra, like how is that for you? Because for me, I'm always still, even though it's obvious, I have things going on, it's like
Yeah,
I don't want to do it. I hold back because
yeah.
perception. Yeah.
Um, I think I've gotten a lot better in the last like 4 to 5 months.
Mhm.
The cough assist is quite new. I was supposed to have it a year ago. My pulmonologist, my regular pulmonologist, was afraid to divvy it out. He was afraid it would collapse my lungs because of the strength, but he was also afraid we might pop a lung because of how much air retention I have. So he was hesitant to do it. So the ALS guy's just given it to me, but it has a battery on it, and I should bring it with me because one time I was not sick, I was totally fine, and we were getting boba or something last summer, and I don't even know what happened. The coordination just went out for a second. It wasn't major, but I was like, and Chase is like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm choking." That's my
Yeah.
husband, and I took 10 minutes of him beating on my back with
Mhm.
an open palm
Yeah.
while coughing. And I didn't even know at the time that I was trying to simulate what a cough assist does. And it was scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
By God's grace, that hasn't really happened since, but I should absolutely keep it on.
Yeah.
I had it
It's
actually
just,
with me at the airport in case I needed it, because I wasn't feeling right, and I kind of was like, might need that. But I don't think I would have as much of a problem using it out now,
yeah.
um, because I think the Lord has just really worked on my heart. It's been a prayer of mine for years, literal years,
Yeah.
that I would just stop caring so much about what people have to think about me
I
or
feel
what I
you. I feel
perceive,
you.
because nobody said
It,
anything mean. It's
it
all in
is a
my head.
perception. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
It's like
And so
that voice is your own worst enemy, basically.
it's
Yeah.
it's just, it really is a battle of the mind, and scripture tells us to take our thoughts captive. And so I felt convicted as a believer that everything scripture says is applicable with all these things except this area, and the Lord's like, no,
Mm,
the whole thing's mine. It's
there's
all,
like exceptions to the,
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the thing is that I've noticed, because I've recovered from a lot of horrible PTSD from medical malpractice, things
Oof.
like that.
Yeah.
But you know, you really do train your body to have a panic response. But one thing that psychology talks about is how, and of all the reasons that psychologists and psychiatrists send you to counseling
Mm,
is, yeah, they give you medication so you can get
mm,
over the hump, but you really need to retrain your brain. And I thought about that, and I thought about God's word, and what the whole premise is
mm.
take your thoughts captive. It knows it starts here. So just through prayer and meditation and remembering what really matters and
Yeah.
putting that at the forefront has really healed that in a lot of ways. I mean, I almost didn't take my power chair on our vacation, but
Mm.
physically I knew it, not because I would have taken another power chair,
Yeah.
but I took my bigger one
Well,
with,
yeah, you have the lighter weight, smaller frame, and
yeah,
then you have, yeah.
yeah, and the lighter weight is nothing. It's not paramobile. Like
Oh, okay, okay.
it's like janky and not perfect,
Yeah.
and I was like, I can't do this. I can't drive this. I'm gonna run somebody over.
Right.
Like
And you
I'm gonna
don't
run my
want,
kids over.
I mean, if you're
I'm gonna
going on a
eject
trip, you want
myself.
something that's like comfortable. I mean, you
Yeah.
don't want to be worrying about,
Well,
yeah.
and my seat and my back are custom. They were 3D printed
Oh,
because I
okay.
failed every every single back and seat that they use because my hips dislocate after a while.
Okay.
Even
So they had to custom fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the muscles start to spasm, even
Yeah.
using a power chair, my muscles, my legs are crud. Now, the difference is walking would have dislocated them and I would have collapsed. Like there's no walking after a
Mm,
certain point.
mm.
But with the power chair, they're still hurting. They're aching like I've walked because I don't even mean to, but I'm holding
Oh,
my
you're
body
like clenching
together.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Oh
exhausted.
my gosh, I know exactly how that is.
It's not me. Okay, that's
And it's not,
fantastic.
it's like I'm
Oh,
always
good.
doing that kind of thing.
Why do we
Yeah.
do that? It's
And
holding
it's weird.
us.
It's like, I mean, I know that I'm not using those muscles. Like I don't need them in the
Yes.
power chair, but you're just like everything you're trying to hold like in that rigid place. And
Yes. And I'm
yeah.
tilted back as far as I can go
And
without
the
laying
joints, it's
flat.
just the joints for me, like
Yeah.
hips and ankles and just all of that.
Yeah.
So
I think the
yeah.
muscles just get, I think they just get fatigued after a while. I
Oh
know for
yeah.
me, mine just run out of energy after about, 15 seconds. And then everything
Yeah.
just starts to migrate out of place. And then the muscles lock up to try and stabilize.
Keep everything together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
So
voluntary.
actually that's a good segue. I was going to ask you about like your diagnosis. And I know they it sounds like it doesn't have an official one, but it's something degenerative neuro related. So like if you want
It
to share just a
should have a
little bit about
diagnosis. It
yeah, like
should.
what happens with it.
So I've got many. I'm one of those
Yeah.
weird gals who doesn't just have one. I won the genetic lottery.
Well, there's a lot of what is it, comorbidities, I think that they I mean
Yeah.
that's just a yeah, a thing.
Yeah. So one of them is Ehlers-Danlos, which is a collagen disorder, and I've got the full trifecta, all the problems, the paralyzed stomach, and blah, 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 all the things.
Yeah.
But for a long time they blamed it on that, and then I was like, brother, please stop. And then I went to go see, and then I was in the hospital for a couple of months. I remember it was the fall of 2021. I was at a Bible study and something fell off. Like the left side went weak and I felt funny. My heart rate was spiking. And I've had, what's it called? It's called dysreflexia.
Mm,
And I've
okay.
had that. And it's a spinal cord thing most of the time, but I had it like with my blood pressure. Like it would just
Yeah.
shoot up randomly, like 200 over 180.
And did you know that you had that before like
No.
before everything else? Okay.
No, I started having dysreflexia episodes in 2018, and we
Mhm.
had no idea what they were, and they kind of stopped. It was around the same time I was having like heart attacks and stuff.
And was
So
that like the very first time like things started happening with anything health related, or was it kind of just like a progressive
that's a
ish?
great
I know
question
that's a
that I
lot.
don't
Yeah,
really
a lot
have
of
a straight
questions.
answer for. I
Yeah.
started having symptoms when I was 7. My spines in my back would sublux and tap, and it was so painful and terrifying. I also would have like what felt like lightning wrapping around my skull when I would turn wrong. And I think what that
Mm.
was now was a subluxation. I was pinching a cranial nerve that wraps around because it was so painful. But in 2018, I had Lyme disease. We got that treated. People often blamed it on that, but a lot of people, especially in the integrative medicine space, holistic medicine space, are like, "Oh, you never get rid of it," and I'm like, "But I did. Like, I had
Mm-hmm.
very specific Lyme disease symptoms, and I do not anymore, and I know exactly what they were, and I don't have it, and all of my testing's been negative as well. It took a year, but it was negative, and that year health issues really were kind of crazy, but they were already upticking in the years before. But 2021 with this muscle stuff is when it really kind of just started nosediving. Like it was a slow progressive, I think, throughout my early childhood and teen years, but in my, I guess my mid 20s is when I was like, I think something's wrong. And so I was in and out of the hospital ER for the like first couple of years, 2018, 2019, 2020. I was like, I'm not going to be sick anymore. I'm just going to make
Just
that
done with it.
choice. I'm tired of this.
It'd be
And
nice.
didn't work. I was pregnant and my stomach totally shut down. I had a feeding tube. I spent off and on in the
Those are
hospital.
fun.
Oh, it was horrible. It was so bad. And it was COVID. Nobody was there. So everybody, where were they going to? Because there was nobody in the hospital. Well, they all came to the maternity ward because they had
Oh
nobody in
my
their ward.
gosh.
So
Oh wow.
everybody was doing stuff there. And I was there and got a feeding tube. I started to improve, had my baby. And I think the Hashimoto's and the post-pregnancy stuff really caused issues with my autoimmune stuff that I've got going on, which I don't even know how many different autoimmune issues are. I'm not chasing them. I have the 2 or 3 that I know. And at this point, I'm just
like I don't
whatever.
want to read anymore. Yeah.
I don't even know anymore. I'm
See,
done.
and that's another thing too. Like you go beyond like I want an exact diagnosis, exactly like a list of things. Here's the meds and here's going to go away and it's done. But then at some point you're just like, I'm just going to like try to live with whatever it is
Yeah.
and
I feel
not
like
worry about the names and the list of,
Yeah. I
yeah,
feel like the medical community, like the actual, and not all doctors are like this, some do understand, but in general, they're trained that that is the most important thing.
exactly.
And then we are getting that through really kind of TV shows. You don't even think about it, but you're like slowly indoctrinated.
Like
Um,
Grey's Anatomy or something like that. Like there's
yeah,
just,
crazy
yeah,
stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, I think that that has a lot to do with it. Is
it
just
does.
kind of, oh well, we can't help you. Either there is something wrong and we don't know, and so good luck, or there isn't something wrong, you need a psychiatrist, or there is
Yeah.
something wrong, and here's this medication that we can offer you. Yes, it's going to cause about 19 other problems,
Other
but
side
yeah,
effects. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And
So
like I do know that, you know, thankfully there are like you get an exact diagnosis, you treat it, it's gone, it's good. Like that's awesome.
yeah,
But when you have something, you're just like, it just doesn't matter. I
yeah,
mean, you know, and like for me, it was like, well, you have Duchenne or Becker's, or no, you really have this hybrid between on the
hmm
muscular dystrophy. And I'm just like, okay. And then they're like, well, the treatments we have, you know, you're too advanced or you progressed beyond those. And I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
thanks. Like,
yeah,
great. So why am I still here? And
yeah.
like, what? So I don't
Because they
know.
want to
It
study
just,
you.
you become a like a research specimen,
Yeah. hmm
honestly. Yeah. So I just have to say, like, I spent like a month and a half in ICU at the end of 21. I had a gallbladder that went septic, and that's when I was fitted with the ventilator, and I had to get that gallbladder out, and then I got a tracheostomy. So like for whatever
Oh, is that when
reason,
you got your tracheostomy? Was the same time?
yeah,
They told
yeah.
me similar. They're like, you're gonna get a tracheostomy, and it's gonna be when you get sick next. And I'm
Eh,
like,
and honestly, like it got to the point I was just like, tell me what I need to do to get out of here
mm,
because it just, I mean, you know, it does things to you
yes,
spending that much time in,
yes,
you know, in a medical setting and like, and then I'm just sitting here picturing you, you know, like having a baby at the same time that you're dealing with all these other symptoms. I mean, how did you? I mean, obviously, you know, I'm sure like you relied on your support system and your faith and everything to get through it, but like, what was the day to day like with the medical staff and the doctors and like what was that experience
um,
if you know like as much as you're comfortable talking because I
yeah,
know
oh, you couldn't ask me a question that I probably wouldn't be as comfortable answering.
okay that's how I
I'm
am now.
like the internet's the stupidest place for me to be. Like, no filter. Ask me any questions. I'll have an answer. In 30 years from now, I'll go back and be like, what was I doing?
You're immortalized in the World Wide Web. Yeah,
Oh, my sister's always like, don't forget. And I'm like, I can't when you're telling me. She means what, and I appreciate what
right. Oh no,
I'm making it
no.
sound like I am annoyed with her, but I'm not.
Honestly, like that makes her. I mean, I can tell like the support is 100% there.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I have a great. My husband is just about. I married the only one left,
Mm-hmm.
who was. I don't know. He's just an incredible man. I don't think I can come across and ask him for anything, and he would say no. And he doesn't not only help me, but he does it without complaining. He's never made me feel like a burden. If
Yeah,
anything, he's made me feel like his concern for me is great. And gosh, he is a man full of great mercy. I love him so
yeah.
much. And then I have my sister and my mom, and
Yeah.
they're all really helpful.
And
But
is your sister your only sibling?
no,
No.
I have, I didn't do anything to them. I'm one of five.
Okay.
I'm estranged to my oldest sister. One of my other sisters is making some choices that I
Mm,
have to put boundaries up because I don't have time for your nonsense and mine, and I'm responsible for people. So I'm gonna have to put some space.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's been difficult. That was this last year. And then my little brother passed away when he was 27
Mm,
due to overdose. And I strongly
mm,
believe that he had the same muscle disease. He always was in a ton of pain. Um, and I think there was a few other issues, obviously,
mhm.
but I think he was desperately trying to alleviate his pain uh,
Yeah.
through drugs, as well as emotional, mental pain. Uh,
Right. And it's
but
a lot to carry. It,
yeah,
it
he had
really
terrible
is.
migraines and joint pain
Mm,
and muscle pain. And looking back on that, I just, just, but he also had defiance opposition. From
yeah.
the time he was a baby, like a year old, and this kid had wild things. So
Oh my
here's more.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not
Well,
alone.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that whole experience. I mean, I have one sister and I just like can't imagine, what that's like to lose somebody that is part of your family like that.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
We were the closest. We were people thought we were even twins. We were
Mm,
18 months apart, I think, 20 months apart.
yeah.
And people thought we were twins. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was a bit of a relief because it was like you weren't wondering if you were
True.
dying somewhere or, you knew how it was
Yeah.
going to end.
Yeah.
And it was always wondering when someone was calling if they were delivering the news. So it was a terrible grief.
Sit
But
back and
after
forth.
15 years of waiting, it was like, oh, okay, you can let it really truly go because we had already grieved
Yeah.
much of that,
Yeah.
being alive and just
And
bad.
that's so hard when you have a family that's like it's kind of that up and down, process for them.
The
And you're
ups and
just
downs.
like,
Yep.
and I mean, it takes a toll on
Yeah.
everybody else because, like you said, you're always wondering, like, well, when is that going to happen? And
Mhm.
and I've had some family members now that have like kind of chronic returning things, and you're just like,
Mhm.
you know, you like you grieve and you're upset when you first get the news, and then it's like everything's good, but then it comes back,
That's the
and
worst part is the roller coaster. Yeah.
it is, and then you
Thinking.
almost become numb at some point, or at least I have, like,
Yeah.
you're just like, I'm just going to accept like whatever's going on and try to make it good for them for, the last bit of time they're here, whatever amount of time that is. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know, it takes a toll. It's heavy on the support for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what you said though about, like you finding your husband and you're having, you have your kids and your faith, like I mean, you do have the foundation to keep yourself kind of going with all the heavy things that are coming out. But like mental health wise, like what's your approach? Have you gone to therapy, anything like that, or have you been pretty much finding everything with your family?
Oh, so when I got back from one of the malpractice issues that I went through
Mm,
was during Lyme disease treatment. I was heavily abused with sedated, being sedated constantly, and then having full like fledged muscle fits that they were trying to stop by sedating me. And after I got out, realizing how close to death that I was. And that was where my first heart attack happened. And they didn't want me to go to the hospital. They wanted me to stay at the clinic on their machines and take nitroglycerin when it got too close. I didn't realize at the time what was going on because I was
yeah.
21. My parents were going through a divorce. My brother was missing,
Oh
and
my
I
gosh.
was in another state away from my husband and my sweet little girl. Like
Whoa.
the
Wow.
stress was stressing. And so when I got back, I had quite a few issues with nightmares and being triggered easily, especially since I couldn't give up on my health issues because they weren't fully resolved. I had to come back and deal with it, and that was very difficult to keep pushing when I was still going through it. And so I sought out a counselor who was like, gee, it seems like you've been through a lot, and let's see how much
Gee,
of this would
thanks.
be like, yeah. And she did the DSM, and she was like, you have basically every symptom of PTSD, like save 4 or
Yeah.
6, and there's like 70 or something. And it was kind of a bit of a failed thing. It was $250 an hour. And sometimes my
That's
session
what
was twice
hurts.
an hour.
Yeah.
And I had just gone through, we had just spent $100,000 on my medical that we were in debt for. It was steep. It was steep.
And I can't believe how expensive the therapists are. And like
Oh,
insurance does not always cover.
no. It
And I'm
was
just sitting
for,
here like, how do you get that support? But then you're
yeah.
like, then they like pile on and you have the issues of, oh no, now I got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like,
So I don't even know how we did that with all the medical debt we had from my treatment, but somehow we did. And
yeah.
the thing is, she was so impressed by how well I was coping. And she was just, there really wasn't a lot of help. She was just so encouraged by how well I dealt with things. And then
Mm.
she would share what she went through and how it was similar. And I was just like, I feel like she should be paying me because this isn't.
Seriously. Yeah.
So I think I was trying to do what I had been told by culture was necessary. I needed to go to a therapist. I needed to deal
Mm.
with this so it didn't get worse. Um, and I just did what I felt like I had been told was normal to deal
Yeah.
with. Didn't work out. So I went home and just kind of read my Bible and was like,
Mm.
Lord, if you can touch and you can heal, you can do this. This is not
Yeah.
a thing that's too hard for you. You are not unaware of what I went through. And my body isn't rogue to you. It must respond to your word. And if your word can bring healing, it can bring truth to my mind. Uh, okay. And so that's kind of where I started realizing
Yeah.
you need to take this up here and direct your body with it. It might take a year or two. And within a few months, I had a much more stillness in my mind. I was able to go through surgeries. I was able to go through treatment without having any kind of panic attacks.
Mm.
Now, it took an enormous amount. I mean, if my brain, if you could have seen it, it
Yeah.
had its own 12 pack because I spent so much of my time like stopping myself, stopping my thoughts, and
Yeah. Like
dwelling
flexing that
on.
your
Mhm,
brain muscles, basically. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dwelling on a specific scripture,
Oh,
anything,
yeah. Yeah.
anything, just to put it on something. And
I think that's a good point too. Like when you, if you can kind of pick something that's positive, that's where you're like,
mhm,
you're almost distracting your mind in a way by
like
going
driving
right
a car.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I did that, and it was very difficult. It was
Yeah.
not without excessive challenge, but God gave me the grace to go through it. And that
Yeah.
was when I realized, okay, my mind is now in a calmer state. My body was still reacting, and it still does, but it's gotten better. So I
Yeah.
really find that when it comes to for my experience dealing with a mental health issue or whatever, I I know that if I can get started here first, it's going to take 18 months to a couple of years for it to improve. And that is the hardest thing ever, is to know you have to wait.
Yeah.
But you learn resilience, you learn perseverance, and all of those things are necessary for anything in life.
Mhm.
Forget chronic illness. You want to be a mom, you want to be a friend, you want to be a good, next door neighbor, you're going to need to push and you're going to need
Yeah.
to keep going and moving
Well,
forward.
and that's a good point too. I think that people don't always think about is like there's going to be some kind of challenge. Like there's going to be something that's hard to do it, and like chronic illness, disability. If it's not early, it's probably going to be later on. I mean, so it's all a relative thing. But I did want to like talk a little bit too about your approach to counseling therapy and everything. It's like there
Mhm.
is this assumption that there's one pathway to go that is going to heal mentally, and like I
Mhm.
just feel like it's never that way. Like you could almost have a therapist or counselor that's unofficial, right? Like it's a friend or family, or like you said, you could go home and start reading and practicing like your faith and everything too. And I just don't think that anyone can assume that, oh, here's your pathway to mental health. You know what I mean? So like I think that's important to realize. And it's like there are therapist counselors that are good, but then at the same time, if it's not a fit, you can't afford it. I mean,
Yeah.
$100 to $300 an hour. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a steep price.
Yeah.
That's very, very steep. So like, yeah, I just think that it's really cool to be able to see, that you kind of found the path that worked, even though it took, you know, a
Yeah.
journey to get there. But as far as how about dealing with your like medical equipment company and like all the supplies and having to replace that and do the orders and like how has that process been for you where you're at? Because I know I have a list of fun things that I deal with monthly on all that. It
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
I thankfully don't have a terrible gosh darn lot.
Okay.
But I do have the hoses, I have these seals, and then I do have, medication and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and I hate it. That
Yeah.
is
Not
my
fun.
Achilles heel. I hate dealing with the ordering and staying on top of it. Doctor's appointments and scheduling those and staying on top of those. I can't
Hmm.
stand it. And my youngest daughter has what I have. She has a
Oh,
ventilator
she
too.
does.
She has a
Okay.
ventilator. She has a cough assist. She is going through the ringer with diagnoses and blah
At a
blah blah.
younger age than,
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's like an echo of what I'm already doing. And that's my challenge. I don't do it well. And I feel
Yeah.
convicted really truly because it's just like I'm supposed to do all things for the glory of God. I'm supposed to be, it just feels like you so badly just want to be like, oh, but it doesn't touch this area.
Yeah.
Just shove that in a corner and that doesn't, like, no, like I'm not doing so great there, but
Yeah.
I'm just tired of the appointments.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the, the equipment. Every now and again, it's confession. I rip off my ventilator in the middle of the night and I throw it halfway across the room because
You do, oh man, I wish I could do
I'm
that.
done with it. And well, I pay a price for it. I wake up with a headache and I don't feel well. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I only do it when I'm well enough. If I am able to and I just can't handle it, I do take it off maybe like once a month or something. But I really can't do more than that because it's too risky. My doctor's
Yeah.
already told me the less you wear that, the faster it's going to progress. And I mean, from
Hmm.
the time we added mouthpiece ventilation to now, I've
Yeah.
stopped nosediving with my PFTs. And I mean, it was a complete and utter nosedive with my
Yeah.
PFTs. They're so low. They're like, well, they're not going to get too much lower. And I'm like, okay, thanks for
Yeah.
telling me
Yeah.
that.
But no, I like that it's, I mean, yeah, like that's a feeling a lot of us have. And like for me because I don't have the strength to actually, lift and throw something, it's like in some ways I'm like, could I have that for like a day? Like just
Yeah,
to take it out or like, with the ventilator, if it's like
yeah.
making the stupid, mine is a circuit disconnects, like, and that's when I'm like on the road with my travel hose and everything, and it just will not stop. And so like I wish there were sometimes like I could, like go on the side of the road and like just, you know,
Mm,
baseball bat to yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I get it.
I just I'm currently in a place where I'm having to reschedule
Mhm,
appointments and get
mhm.
things back on. But yeah, I think this is the greatest challenge because I'm at a point where I can't say this is to improve quality of life or whatever. It's like, no, this
Yeah,
is for you to live. So I can't just say no to these things anymore. Whereas there
yeah,
was a time for a few years I could be like, nah, I don't, no, no. But like, when a sore develops from this steel, because there's times where spam risk. Um, there's times where the seal, I have to wear this. I mean,
yeah.
there's times where I get maybe a 2 or 3 hour break in a 24-hour
Mhm.
period because I need it that bad. And the second I hit the stop button, I feel my lungs start to close, like shut down. And
Yeah.
then I'm trying to take a breath in and I can't do it.
Well,
Um,
that's what's hard with progressive like things too, I think, is like you do have to rely more and more on the
yeah.
devices. Like for like there's preemptive stuff, like right, like they'll be like, well, you should go ahead and have this, for the future when this starts happening. And it's
Mhm.
just like I'm like, I don't want to worry about that now. Like I
Yeah.
don't need that.
Yeah.
So it's
I can barely handle what I've got in front of me. And I'm not guaranteed that I'm going to make it, for, another year or whatever. But because you're just one cold away that you don't recover from. And it's just like, bro, I can't think about that right now. I'm kind of busy. Like,
mhm, mhm.
but they're like, well, you need to be thinking about it. I mean, they told me
Yeah.
you'll probably get a trach when you get sick and you'll be admitted to ICU and that you will not come off being intubated with your numbers. Once you get
Yep.
on, you will not come off. It's just not possible because they're like,
Yep.
my MIPS and my MEPS and all my PFTs are
All
just
the
in the
readings and
dirt. And I'm like, how am
yeah.
I talking? And then there's the contemplate understanding it. And every time my RT comes over, I'm like, I know I ask this every time you come, but could you explain to me again why I'm not dead if my numbers are so bad? And she's like, your body adapts and it can
Yeah,
do.
that's true.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I can't. I need you just to upload the information to my head because I just
Seriously. Yeah,
blood-brain barrier.
you're like I got all these other things like attached to me. Why can't you just like attach something to my brain and
Yeah, make me
help me
understand
understand
it,
it?
make me process.
Yeah.
But
It's almost like the bodies are kind of annoying almost in a sense because it's like, well, they'll give you all the symptoms and pain, but it's going to keep kind of going on, like hanging on until, it
and it's
can.
good to
But
understand it because you need to understand your
it
stuff. But I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
there is a part of culture, and I think there's got to be a conspiracy around it. But like psychology culture is huge, and there's good part of it, but do we really need to process everything? Everything. Like
Overanalyze, yeah.
today, the flavors, the flavor profile. Like we don't need to. There's been certain things about all this that I'm like, I guess I just
Yeah.
don't need to know. I don't need
See,
to
that's
understand all of that. I can just
right.
move forward, enjoy my cup of tea and my cookie on my patio.
Yeah.
And
Well, the concept, right? Like to
yeah,
enjoy something.
yeah.
Like
And I think there's too much
there is.
thinking that when you get on top of this struggle and you can understand it and fully comprehend what you're going through, you'll have peace.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works.
Like, I
You can
hate to
have a
break it to
temporary peace,
you.
but like there are certain diagnoses that I got, and I was like, whoa, I thought I would be more at rest. I thought I'd be more at peace, and I wasn't. That wasn't my answer. And I
And
realized,
it's almost like you don't have to, I mean, you don't have to accept everything,
no,
but it's like, you know, you have to realize too, there might not be an overcoming. I mean, it's just gonna persist. And
mm-hmm,
like,
right.
I mean, you can overthink it to death and it's not gonna
I
change.
think there's a daily grieving.
There
And I
is,
think you
yeah,
grieve it as it comes, and then you counteract that with, thank you, God, I live in 2026 and I
yeah,
can be alive because, and that I don't live in Africa, in rural Africa, where I couldn't have access to any of this.
right,
Or
right.
thank you that, X, Y, and Z, I'm not sick right now and I'm not in the hospital. And there's just,
Or that you have a support system, right? Like because there are people that don't, and it's
mm-hmm,
so hard to, to
mm-hmm,
find out about cases, like that. And you're just like, you know, it's just one of those things. It's all like a relative issue to me. Like,
mm-hmm.
you just take your situation and like if there's good moments of it, you enjoy that, and then you're just like, yeah, there's gonna be ups and downs daily, like you said, and I mean it's just how you do it. But I'm curious with your daughter having, a lot of the same symptoms already and everything. Like what that seems like a really hard dynamic because you're patient, but you're also parent caregiver, and then your husband is, obviously caregiver for both
He
to an
also has a
extent. Like,
disability too.
yeah. So how do you balance like all of those things at the same time?
You know, okay, so I actually see a grief counselor. I started seeing one in the summer,
Mhm.
and she asked me that time before last or last time.
Okay.
And I told her, because I just am this way. And she's like, Sydney, I have lots of people come in and sit down in that chair, and they're going through a fraction of what you are. How do you do it? And I was like, I have learned how to take what is in front of me and put it on the conveyor belt of Christ and let him carry it because it's not mine to carry. And if I'm fully his and I'm just the employee now, I'm not the CEO of my life, he
Mm-hmm.
will grant me the grace to do the thing in the moment. That's what he has given me to do. And right now it's washing my 12-year-old's hair because she can't hold her hands above her head. Or maybe it's holding my 5-year-old because she had a nightmare, but it's not worrying about that doctor's appointment. Or maybe
The
it's not about,
ultimate living in the moment sort of
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
I think that's part of it, but I think it's also taking your thoughts captive and being like, this is not a thought for right now.
Yeah.
That's not what's in front of me. I will get to that in a minute. And
It's
handing
like,
everything off to the Lord and just being like, look,
yeah.
this is your mess. It's not mine anymore. You took all of my stuff, so take this too. And
Hmm.
he's been faithful to deliver me over and over and over again.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm not great at that. Sometimes I'm like putting things down on that conveyor belt, and as it's drawing, I'm like, oh wait, I
Well, then
wasn't
you're like,
finished with that
you
thing.
can't help but like try to prioritize
Yeah,
almost like,
human, man. I'm so human, man. I
yeah. And like all the tasks, right? Like for me, it's like, okay, well, I
mm,
had everything with my power chair, like I'm doing transfers and like I have to get help
mm,
with, eating, drinking, that kind of thing. But then you throw on, oh, here's a tray, here's a
mm-hmm,
ventilator. You have to clean
mm-hmm,
those. You have to not like worry
mm-hmm,
about infection and replacing the trach. And you know what I mean? It's just like this laundry list of
mm-hmm.
chores for
Yeah.
handling it. And it's like you said, though, it's like, you're taking it one at a time. And then like, I mean, you can do, well, like for me, like you could turn on music, you like talk, or I mean, there's like a lot of deeper connection
Yeah.
type stuff
Mhm.
too, like in the monotony of
Yes.
all the maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it sounds like you have, a lot of that too with your family. And like it's amazing like to see like if you have that kind of support and you're living with them and it's like, you know, you just it's just how you're sort of put together,
Yeah.
like you can get through way more things than, the outside perspective could assume.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it
There's
doesn't have to be
definitely
all bad.
coping mechanisms.
Yeah,
It's not all, it is, for me, it is absolutely Christ comes first, but then there's
yeah,
also more practical applications than that.
yeah.
Like, there's times where I'm like, all right, girls, I'm putting my headphones on, I'm cooking dinner, and you're not going to come up and talk to me because I need a minute. Or,
See, that's yeah.
like turning on a YouTube video while I clean her ventilator, or,
Or
you know,
brainstorming like your next Karen video while you're doing something.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, you come across those things. I enjoy
yeah.
all of that, but you know what? I still have a very physical limit. Like,
Mm.
I love you. I was grieving a bit in the beginning because I was enjoying it, but I'm like, I've got a cap. Like, I've got to
A
talk.
limit.
And I physically, I want to get up and go do that stuff, and I can't. Like, I have to get my kids from school later, and I have to bring them home, and they're going to tell me all about their day. And my oldest is also special needs, so she can get a bit cyclical with the conversation she has, and she'll have the same one over and over because she's trying to process. And buddy, I'm about ready to pop off because I'm done having the same conversation about, Ruffles potato chips, but she's still
Yeah.
trying to understand it. And she relies on me to be merciful and understanding and gracious because my job is ultimately to put her first. But I'm tired, and the culture around me is telling me, you do you and you take care of you. And it's just like, I'm about ready to
Yeah.
lose my mind. So it's,
Yeah.
there's definitely coping mechanisms like date nights and, gosh, like little things like I'm gonna go buy myself a sugar laden tea that might, give me diabetes
Yes.
after I accomplish these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I feel
Or
you. I feel you on that. Like, yeah, like the iced latte or something that you're just like, you know what? I couldn't drink that when I was in ICU, so I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care. I'm gonna do
Oh,
it
the
now. So
hospital's the worst. The things I'm like, I have no diet restrictions. I'm like, well, we see that you've had multiple heart attacks, so we're actually limiting your caffeine intake. And I'm like, Chase,
you're
bring me
like,
a
I
latte,
need
get
it.
your rear end up here as fast as possible.
That's what I'm
You're
saying.
trying to kill me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said you were like on a feeding tube for a bit.
Yeah, it was horrible. Terrible. It was terrible
Yeah.
because I've got gut issues and I was allergic to half the food they were feeding me. Like I would go from having hypermotility in my colon to they couldn't hear any sounds in my colon making it all.
Yep.
And it was like, why? Why this?
And not to mention, like, I don't know about you, but I had cravings for like random things when I
Really?
was like when you can't eat or drink the regular
Oh,
because I'm getting
I
the
just messed myself
liquid
up. Yeah.
food. Yeah, it's
I have
just
no
like
self-control.
I'm just sitting there like I really need apple juice. That was my thing. And I'm like, I
Mm,
never drink apple juice like that. Why am
yeah.
I craving this? But did you have anything like that when you had the feeding tube? Like,
I mean, I was pregnant,
okay.
so I think that I remember, gosh, I just remember, you know what I remember? I remember my food putrefying in my stomach because I would still try and eat.
So you were eating regular food on top of getting the
Like I
yelch.
said, the self control. Look, I feel like I have a self control reservoir, and so much of it is going to all the important things. And when it comes to food, it's like, I've had
It's
it.
like,
I can't.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
snap.
So okay, so what's guilty pleasure, like food number one? I know this is another podcast I'm probably starting right here,
No,
but
I know. Oh yeah, I asked you in the beginning. I'm like, you don't know who you've asked on, buddy. Like this could go on forever.
hey, that's the kind I like, believe me.
Gosh, I really enjoy drinks, and I think it's because they
Mhm.
drain so well. I can't do garlic, I can't do onion, I can't do crazy spices. Every once in a
Yeah.
while, when I'm really feeling particularly self-loathing, I'll eat a sausage. You know what I mean? But only when I'm feeling like self-loathing. Because it just sits there for like 18 hours, and I'm
Oh
burning
man.
garlic. Oh, it is so, and it's garlic. Garlic is what triggers it, and onion, and it's like that's not what you want sitting in your stomach. Makes with stomach acid for a year. It feels like. Anyway, that's not the guilty pleasure. That's the disgusting part.
No.
I think that I enjoy something sweet with a cup of coffee. I don't know, just
Yeah.
once a day, something that's
Yeah.
just simply delightful. I am known to be a chronic, like just nibbler. Like
Hmm.
I'll
I feel
buy
that
4 meals for my family, of course. And
always.
oh yeah, of course they're always my choice too. Because I mean, that's what I do. I kind of take care of the home like that, and I just like
Hey,
nibble on all of them, and then I'm like, okay, here's everybody's dinner. But I don't. I just want to sample everything, but
yeah.
I don't want to eat anything. But I really love me a good drink. But I'm somebody who is both habitual but likes to try new things. So
Yeah.
I want to try some things, but then when I get hooked in and locked
Hmm.
onto something,
Hmm.
I'm having that for the next 3 months daily.
Yeah.
And right now it's a particular drink from Swig because a Swig opened by me. And
Nice. See, I like to drink. Is it caffeinated or not
um,
so much?
birthday girl was
Okay.
birthday girl. It was like blackberry Dr. Pepper and vanilla
Oh
cream, like
my.
mango puree and something. And I wouldn't think like mix fruit
Ooh,
and sodas like that together, but
no, but
oh,
it's good. Oh
feels
my.
good. And right now, it's a Bless Your Heart, which has black tea, vanilla syrup, peach syrup, pineapple syrup. I add
Yeah.
cherry, and
Yeah.
it is a splash of lemonade, and it is so good, so good.
Nice. Nice. So you have a sweet tooth then,
I do,
I do. Yeah.
do.
It's dangerous.
It
I have to
is
admit.
kind of dangerous, and I've already got PCOS and stuff, but I'm on a medication that helps to lower the blood sugar, but not very much.
Yeah.
So then it's like kind of not good because it's like, oh well, it's not raising my blood sugar so much, and I'm like,
Yeah.
stop doing this to yourself. Like if
But
you want
it's
to live,
also it's like it's enjoyable. Like there's one of those little kind of a little thing. Like
yeah,
I don't know. It just helps to have those small like for me it's a ginger ale. Like
it is
I was off of carbonated drinks for like 15 years.
same, yeah,
And then I was like, you know what? Like nauseated feelings and then like I like the taste of it. It's like it's just a
yeah,
small can of it, you know.
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm kind
When
of hooked on
food
that lately.
when food sits in my stomach, something carbonated for some reason like wakes it up. So if like something's been sitting in my stomach for seven
Yeah.
hours and I can feel it, a little carbonated drink will like
Oh, nice.
help. I don't know why. It just does. It just like kind of reminds it.
Activates.
There's still food in your stomach. Could you please move out so that we can also come in?
Can you
Um,
process this, please? Like,
yeah. But I
yeah,
also didn't drink sweet drinks or soda for, I
yeah.
mean, from the time I was 14 years old, I stopped. But when I got my feeding tube back a few years ago, and I was on so many diets for autoimmune stuff. And I mean,
Mhm.
there was times I could only eat a handful of things. And I think doing that for so many years just flipped a switch in me. I was just like, I can't do everything. And I'm going to have to leave this in the Lord's hands and be like, if He wants me here, nothing's going to pluck me out of His hand prematurely. So give me that drink.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, I don't want to stick to every single special diet plan that's out
It was
there.
hard. And it took 10 years I was doing that with, I mean, it was rough and it didn't make me any better. And that was the main reason.
See, and that's the other thing. You're just like, if it's not helping, why am I going to worry about that? It's like,
Yeah. And I did have, when I had autoimmune stuff, it did help.
mhm, mhm.
But then when I didn't have the autoimmune stuff, it didn't help. And I was like, forget this, brother. Forget it.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah.
Other than ginger ale, is there anything else that you have that's like a favorite food or something?
I mean, the coffee thing is a problem. I have to admit that. So I blame grad school because
Okay.
I was in grad school like 6 years and I
Wow.
developed this afternoon latte thing. Like I had to have caffeine because I was going to pass out and not get anything done. And yeah, grad school, you know, demands of science and research. So I was like, that has carried through now. And like
You did.
after so I did a swallow test to see if I could eat and drink with a trach. And I guarantee you, the minute I passed that, it was straight to Starbucks after the hospital because I was like, I haven't had coffee in 6 months or 4 months or whatever it was. And I was just like,
Wait,
yep,
what?
yeah.
Why did they wait so long?
So it was a lot of it because of the trach and I had a tube down my mouth actually for a while in the ICU. And so like I had to
Oh,
retrain
you
to eat,
have
talk,
to swallow, yeah.
all of that. Yeah. And then I got to go in and have them do the little scope, you know, with the camera down the throat and you could like see your swallowing muscles. And it was like, oh,
That's
here's your
intense.
pudding and your graham crackers. And, you know, they put you
Yeah,
through.
the whole
And
barium swallow study, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And like with MD, you know, for years I had just
Mm,
adjusted my swallowing and I didn't know any different. Like I was swallowing that way and it's
yeah.
still works. Knock on wood right now. But yeah, I was just like, you know, oh, and here's the other fun part. I'm allergic to food dyes, like all artificial color. And
Yeah. What kind of symptoms do you have that lets you know that?
like a bad stomach reaction, like
Yeah.
severe pain and you
Yeah.
know, that kind of thing. Luckily no breathing stuff,
Yeah.
but yeah, so they brought a cart in with like the jello that was like fluorescent green and all this stuff. And I'm like, guys, my chart says I cannot do this. So they went and brought a whole other cart of food, and I had to wait to, get all that in. But then it was like, here's your applesauce and your I don't know, vanilla pudding, whatever. But yeah, like mine.
That
Luckily,
pudding has dye in it
that's
though.
what I'm saying. There's
Oh my
so
God.
many puddings that have it. Luckily now they're starting, there's more stuff
Yeah.
without, but it's ridiculous. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
like
kind of why
beyond,
I don't avoid things unless they are
I
going to
know.
kill me because now granted, like on when we went on our trip at Epic Universe, I reacted, I swear, to every other thing I put in my mouth, and it
Mm,
was horrible, and my stomach was hurting, or I was having all kind of IBS issues, and I was just like, I want to go
yeah.
home and make a chicken. I don't even, I never want to do that, but I want to go home and make a
Mhm.
chicken because my stomach is exhausted.
Yeah.
Gosh dang, like
Yeah. It's
that's
like,
really frustrating.
and it's hard because you look for things like, okay, I want it to taste good. Like I
Yeah,
want to be able to eat food and enjoy it.
yeah,
But then you're like, oh, well, it's fried. I'm going to pay for this later. I mean,
yeah,
it's
pretty
just
much.
hard to stay. Like I can't stay on track always. And I have slow transit, like digestion really badly. And,
Yeah,
so you're always weighing it. Like, am I going to pay for this later? You're like, I don't care. Like, give me the cheeseburger. Like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
luckily, like most of the like things that I'm stuck on, I've gotten it like whittled down to like the coffee and the ginger ale, and you know the other stuff kind of come and go. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. You just need those little small crutches to I don't know to enjoy during the day. It's a
Yeah.
small joy thing. Yeah,
Yeah. I think you
yeah,
just do. I think you become very clever, but I think you also become very grateful for those little things.
true.
And
Yeah.
I really love to listen to a great YouTube, deep dive with my
Mm,
headphones in and a great drink. And I love to organize,
awesome.
but my
Yeah.
body's broken, and so my arms start to like shake, and I'm like losing, and I'm
Oh,
just like I can't stop myself. Like
well, and your mind moves at a different pace in your body.
I
Like,
talk best when I'm moving.
yeah,
I promise you,
yeah.
the Lord, He doesn't make mistakes, but there's times where I'm like, I think you reached, is it possible that you reached for the wrong battery versus personality? Because I
How
don't have
does
the energy for
yeah,
my personality. I told my mom when I was
exactly.
12. I remember telling her that when I was 12. I was like, Mom, I love, like, who God made me. Like, no problem with it. I said, but why do I get, my personality makes me tired. At 12, I
Mm,
recognized something was vastly wrong.
yeah,
And
yeah. It's
yeah,
like, can you just like resynchronize or something? Maybe it's just a reset button, right? Like,
so I think the key is you need to find a way to get like an early payment on your new body,
mhm.
your heavenly body. You're just like, Lord, can I please get just, an early payout on that for just a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah, yeah. You're like, can I just like cash in that investment
Yeah,
now?
yeah,
Or
please,
yeah,
please,
yeah.
thank you. But
I feel that. I feel that. But yeah, so okay. So the last thing I kind of wanted to mention is like your content creation. Like, what led you to it, and why did you get into it? And like what's your sort of mission with it to bring that to everybody?
yeah, that's a really good question. So I think over the years I've recognized that um, the way that I've dealt with all of my health stuff, all of the tragedies that we've been through, not only is the amount of things that we've been through been unusual, the
Mhm.
suffering that our family has been through, um, but the way that we've handled it by God's grace has been unusual as well. And I recognized that. And so I knew at some point I had been asked to speak at a couple of, events once and, well, I guess twice. And I knew something eventually I would do. I just didn't know how or when. I just kind of had this feeling that that would be inevitable for me.
Mhm.
And a few months ago, on the way home from just a really sideways doctor's appointment, um, I just remember I was just weeping, just
Mhm.
uncontrollably while driving on a road you do not want to be distracted on. And I just remember thinking, okay, I'm heartbroken. I feel gutted over
Mhm.
that because the doctor was just like not offering us any help. Took us 2 years to see her, and she was like, I think you have a neurodegenerative or neurogenetic neuromuscular degenerative disease,
I'm
but
like, thank you.
yeah, and she's like, and you should follow up with basically my specialty, but I'm the only one in town, and I won't see you because basically I don't like EDS, and I was just, and also she was like. I was like, well, what about my muscle biopsy, which came at a high price because the
Yeah.
anesthesia failed in my arm, so I could feel them cut everything.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. And And she was like, oh, we think it, could be artifactual. And I'm like, it shows that I have mitochondrial disease. And she's like, well, I don't know. And my daughter's neuromuscular doctor was like, that's totally gold standard. Yeah. But this lady
Yeah.
specialized in it. And she was like, oh, and she looks me from head to toe and goes, well, you just don't look like the typical case. And I'm just like,
Ooh,
what?
that's optimistic.
Because this is the second time or third time I've been basically been told you're too pretty to have these kind of issues.
See, yeah,
And
I
I just
don't get the assumptions on everything.
like, here, give me
Like,
a second. I'll rearrange my face.
uh,
Let me break the bridge of my nose. Do I look like
right.
a problem now?
Like, let me go, like, have like I don't know, a
Yes,
car crash or something to mess up, yeah, my
yeah.
looks. So
And
I was told by my pulmonologist that he'd never seen somebody on a vent with a trach before. And I'm just like, I thought pulmonology was supposed to like help me deal with these things like all together. And he was like, I've never seen a ventilator with a tracheostomy. I'm like, I don't think I could be the first one, dude, that has shown this. And second, I'm all like, well, why are you telling me? And then he went on to like say, well, it's too bad that you don't have SMA because they just got this treatment for kids. And I'm sitting there like,
what?
thank you for telling me this. So it's just like, why am I here? Like, why am
Right.
I even in this office right now?
Yeah. I
So
feel
yeah,
like I feel like home visits need to become a thing again because if you're going to waste my time, you need to waste it coming to me because
well,
I
that's why I love telehealth too. Like when you
yeah
can, like
yeah same
because it's an all day marathon and you're probably like me, you're wiped out. You go to
wiped
all that
out
efforts and
wiped out
to hear that and then go home and process it. Like, how are you supposed to,
yeah
handle your symptoms? But yeah, so like I liked it, you went to content creation the way you did because sometimes it's an outlet. It's a nice one.
well and it was on my way home that I was just gutted and I
Yeah.
recognized I'm still as upset as I've always been, but I didn't feel like I was spiraling anymore. I felt stable. I felt assured. I knew that it would pass, and I knew what hope was. I knew where my hope was, and I knew that it wasn't fixed on any kind of guilty pleasure or whatever. Because when you're hurting like that, nothing matters. Like nothing, guilty pleasures, your greatest loved ones, your wonderful support system, everything pales with that kind of despair.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't despairing anymore. I was lamenting, but I wasn't despairing. And the
Yeah.
difference is despair, there's no hope. Lamenting, you are grieving from a place of trust. And
Right.
so I I felt like I had this precious gift that I
Mm.
had. And I was like, I felt responsible to share. Like life doesn't have to
Yeah.
be over, like am I going to throw a fit and my life be over just because I don't get to be the CEO of Target? Like, no, like we don't
I
always get to do
wish.
everything in life. And, breathing's kind of like a nice thing to be able to do, but
Yeah.
it's just like anything else that you lose and you're still alive and you still have to keep living. So
Yeah.
adapt and, it's going to take time and move forward. But I got
Well,
home.
and it's not toxic positivity like I want. Like I'm always trying to say like I was that person. I
Mm,
was the toxic positivity guy like 15 years
mm,
ago. And this is not that. But
no,
it's like, with what we're living with and our symptoms, like like this is how we move forward instead of just becoming, I mean, like non-existent. I mean, like I just think that when you realize like, oh, this could also help somebody else, like
yeah,
it goes above you and your
yeah,
symptoms. You're like, I want to share this, to try to like help people who are going through the same thing. So like I'm
yeah.
sure that's like part of your inspiration too to start that.
Yeah. Well, and I was encouraged. I was telling my friend when I got home, kind of my reaction to the appointment, and later my husband, and independent of each other, they were both like, "You should write a book, or you need to
Mm,
go start a blog, but you need to
mm,
do something because you have something to share." And the only thing that kept coming to my mind was YouTube. Like, and I know nothing about. I don't even barely document my own children like growth, and I'm too overstimulated constantly to stop and think about it, and I'm very in the moment, and so. I was like, Lord, if you want me to do this, then you're gonna have to like give me the grace to do it because I don't know what I'm doing. And then I just kind of started doing it, and I really feel like I'm stumbling my way through it. I don't know
that's the
exactly what
best
I'm
way.
doing. Yeah, I sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna post this, and I'm gonna post this, and then one video gets 100,000 views, and then another one gets
That's
50.
a whole nother, that's the most random thing ever. like you don't know what's going to happen when you put something out there, and like sometimes it's something totally
Yep.
innocent and like intended in 100% different way, and
Yep.
it gets just blown out of
Yeah.
proportion. I'm just like, why am I here? Like, why am I
Right.
still doing this?
Yep.
But then you get like a message saying like one person, they're like, I watched it and it got me through this, and you're
Yes.
like, oh, okay, like I'll keep
Yep.
going.
I think I've got like 10 or 15 different people, and it's like I think across Instagram, which Instagram was like a weird fluke thing. Like it's like at 2 million views. I started like what 2.5 weeks ago. It's like at 2
Yeah.
million views, and I'm like,
Well,
I
I was
wasn't
gonna say, I
ready
think I
for
saw like
this.
your second video, and that was not
Yeah,
that long ago.
no, and I posted a whole bunch at first because I
Yeah,
didn't want people to come to an empty page, but
fair.
I wasn't prepared for it. Like either on either platform, I really
Yeah.
thought that I was going to get 5 views across YouTube in the first 6 months, and the first 10 subscribers I would have would be mostly friends and family. And I actually didn't even realize that I thought my likes was my views, and I was like, wow, 20, wow,
Like
like my first video, I didn't realize
validation.
it was
Yeah.
800 or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
then just so many different subscribers coming out of nowhere, and I'm like, what are they here for? I don't understand. Like, do they not know how boring I am?
Well, I mean, the style of the videos, like the humor side of it, to me is like that's what I gravitate towards.
Really?
Yeah, like I need some of that kind of humor to deal with it. Yeah.
That's definitely one of my biggest coping mechanisms
Yeah.
is humor. I find anything funny, and I think I enjoy that part of the skit. Like I didn't originally start doing skits, but after my first one, I
Yeah.
was like, I need to do more
So fun.
because it's just I get to. People are always like, "Why did you find that funny?" And I'm trying to
Yeah.
explain it to them. I'm like, "But you don't understand." In my mind, I was thinking about this, and then this meme came up, and
Yeah.
now I
Yep. Yep.
show people why it was funny. And sometimes it lands, and sometimes it doesn't. The video
Yeah.
that did worst on YouTube is the one that got the over a million views on Instagram, and
Of
I'm like,
course, right?
so I
Yeah.
don't understand the algorithm or anything like that. But
I really appreciated the one where you were at wheelchair level with the aromatics in the grocery store. Like that
oh,
is yeah, because when you're that height, like on a day-to-day basis, yeah, it's not always the best.
somebody, I in my rigid frame, people used to move me,
Mm,
and I was just like, do I look like a grocery cart to you? Like, why are you touching me? Would you ever touch me? And it feels so like just demeaning. It just feels
oh yeah.
dehumanizing to be an
And the
object
hovering, like
that's in your way. Oh, and
yeah.
however, I love some very sweet people at my church very much, but they
Mhm.
come and they're talking, and I'm like, why are you making me talk to you like this?
You're like space. I need space,
Or
please.
they'll crouch down on their knees,
Oh
and I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm two. I feel like I'm
And
two,
you're
and
like,
I
I
don't
know
like
what
to
you
see
had for dinner or like for lunch. Like I can, yeah, it's just too close. Like boundaries, please.
yep. And then
Like,
the
can we have
air
like,
filtration. We need air filtration at that
yeah,
level as well
yeah,
because the amount of people that I'm walking behind their rear end is like,
seriously. And then like you don't like you try to like anticipate, but
yes.
you sometimes you just get forced into that. And
Yeah.
then you're just like, I wish I had a very small force field or like like a mask. I don't know, something.
The worst thing I think is not knowing what kind of accessible place you're going to because you feel so stupid. Like you're going up to a restaurant and you're like, that's too big of a lip for me to go over with this thing.
Yep.
Um, and then you kind of just feel that I've left places because I'm so blessed to have a wheelchair van
Yeah.
with a what's it called?
Like a lift.
Nope. With a what's it called? A transfer seat. So it backs up and turns around
Oh,
because I would dislocate a hip.
oh, I got you.
I
Yeah,
dislocated
yeah.
my hip and lower back whenever
So,
I tried
so the
not.
seat actually like goes out of the
Yeah, it's
vehicle and
really
goes
cool.
down.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I can take myself places and get my kids from school and because there was a season where I had to call my husband a lot, and it was before I had the power chair, and
Mhm.
a quality of life is a lot better
Oh,
because of
definitely.
that. Because my
Yeah.
husband would have to take off of work just to come get my wheelchair out for me and go to my appointments, and now I can do it all by
Yeah.
myself.
Independence is huge. I mean, like,
Yeah,
however you get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really
Yeah.
grateful for it. But I
But
mean,
no, I feel you like when you go to a place and it's not like there is a lip or the ramp's too steep and then
yeah,
you're just like, then sometimes I feel bad. Like people don't think, they're like, how
yeah,
is that an issue? You've got a wheelchair and it's a ramp. And it's
yeah.
like, well,
Well,
and
it's
then
kind
it's
of
like, well,
embarrassing too. Like there's places I've left because I'm like, I can't get through here. Like
yeah,
stores with really narrow aisles, and
yeah.
I catch something and I'm dragging it for the next 300 feet.
Or like you scrape through and break something like off your
Yeah.
chair, or
Or off their
yeah,
wall.
or leave a giant black streak, across, like I've done that, like
My
across
husband
the
told
wall.
me I need to get a banner for the back of my chair that says something like construction crew.
Ooh, with
And
like the
I'm like,
little flashing like light.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
hit so many things and I'm like, oh, I'm just
Oversized.
rearranging. Don't
Yeah,
worry. Corporate sent me. Just making everything
that's
accessible.
good. That is good. That could be your next skit, maybe
It
something
is.
like that.
It's
But
on my list.
yeah. Oh,
I would
nice.
do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The thing is breathing. The breathing is the physical part. Basically, my body's the problem. It's why it takes me so long to get
Yeah.
stuff done.
Yeah.
And then my husband and I are trying to get a podcast up and going ourselves in
Mm.
the fall. More like care, like he's a caretaker, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Um,
like that perspective is
yeah,
not shared enough
family,
either. Yeah.
marriage, doing it so that you don't have to.
Navigating.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people can be jerks. You can have Karens, but you don't have to be a Karen back. And you can.
Yeah.
That Karen's really just somebody who's hurting too.
And see,
And
sometimes the Karen just wants to, like, I want to Karen back.
yes,
That's
and it
a
doesn't
hard
help
one.
you. It doesn't help
No.
you, and it doesn't help them. I've actually shut down a lot of Karen interactions, especially in
Yeah.
doctors' offices, like the front desk, um,
Oh,
just by
yeah.
ignoring it and continuing to be kind. And those people at the end up are like, people are like, oh, I hate that lady. I'm like, oh, she's so friendly, but I just didn't dish it back out because it's like
Yeah.
that lady could have something going on. You know,
True.
maybe she's a
True.
sick kid. You know, it's such an entitled perspective to be like, you deserve for me to lash back out at you.
Mhm.
But in reality, I've been that person and they have no
Yeah.
idea what I'm going through. And if they did, they would be embarrassed. And so, I don't know, just from
Yeah.
that perspective of like,
Yeah.
be what, continue to pursue the way that you would like to be treated, despite the way people are treating you. Don't let them
Yeah.
influence the way that you're going to decide to behave. Go
Yeah.
ahead and preset how you're going to behave. And that doesn't mean
Yeah.
there's not a time for accountability.
Well, I was gonna say, like, what's your balance between, like, posting like a Karen style video versus
Yeah,
holding back? Like, what? That's a fine line between,
it is.
what you share and not.
It is. And I actually was talking with my husband about that and a couple of other friends. Because I was like, the Karen really, I feel like, is me a lot of times. Like, I feel that way towards myself. And I think one of them was like the Karen that I met in the aisle with the tea
Yeah.
bag, and she was having a hard day, and that was,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
supposed to be that way. But obviously, people of like stuff like that, they just.
Yeah.
And I think there is an opportunity, and I noticed that with that Mara one, the wheelchair one, there were a lot of people who share their stories, and there was an opportunity in the comments.
Hmm.
Someone was like, "Yeah, run over her or whatever," and I'd be like, "It's not worth the jail time,
Oh, yeah.
it's not worth it." And so you have an opportunity within the community in the
Yeah.
comments to kind of state your case in perspective,
Yeah.
and someone be like, well, I don't think that this blah blah blah, and I'd be like, I agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
a video isn't a single perspective, or
True.
it is a
True.
single perspective, but it doesn't represent the person making it and all the different like
Right.
complexities of situations and behavior. But I think
And it doesn't mean like there's not, I mean, you can make mistakes with that like you can anything else. I mean,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
yeah, and that's something I've even like, I mean, even, recently I've just been like, I need to reevaluate that perspective or how I, interpret. And like it's not all of you like one video, but at times, especially if it's one that gets a lot of attention or like a ton of comments or shares
Mhm.
for good or bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, how do you say that you're just that? Like that's the entire, you know,
yeah,
like persona of you.
yeah.
And that's a tricky thing
Yeah,
to
and that is
balance.
a
Yeah.
difficult thing to encounter because the videos that have taken off, I would say least represent me. It was just like a fun idea, but I wouldn't say they
Yeah.
represent me. And then they go off, and I'm like, not that one.
And now everybody on the internet assumes that, oh, there's
There,
Karen Sydney, like that's
yep,
her.
yep, that's her. And
Yeah.
I think that's where there's like opportunities within like the video
Yeah.
video response to shorts and stuff. But I think it also, like, I'm building a library. I
Mhm.
do have intentions at some point to be like,
Well, and you would hope that that gets like taken into account, like the whole, yeah, well-rounded, like
yeah,
version of you. And yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that there's like an opportunity within long form as well to be like, would you like to know who Mara is? Mara's kind of me. Mara
Yeah.
is a representation of the part of me that's
Yeah.
struggling to accept this stuff that I'm going through. And I think those kind of videos do bring in a lot of traffic from that more hardened part of chronic illness community, and maybe it gives them an opportunity to consider it. And you just put your stuff up, and
and
it's
like
not
different
personalized.
formats. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it is
Well,
entertainment at the same time. Like I,
that's true. Yeah,
so
yeah. Like you try to build the content for like the doom scrolling,
yeah, yeah.
like
And I think
followers, but
like that's the fun part, and I
yeah,
think that also helps like meet a need within the community. I think
yeah,
sometimes
it
people
does.
want to see something represent something that they're suffering at the hand of, whether it's been an actual encounter or people who are like, oh, I feel like this too. So for me, it really is like trying to mirror struggles people might be going through, and then hoping that they'll go to the long form and find a video in the future, because it takes time to build it up, but hopefully
Seriously,
a
yeah,
video that addresses that. And so like the short kind of hooks them to be like, oh, this is very similar to my, how I feel
yeah.
about it. But then a long form that kind of addresses the let's talk about this kind
Well,
of
that's like almost like a novel, right? Like you read like the back cover or something, or
yeah,
like the
exactly.
little introduction, yeah, and then you're like, oh, I have to dive in and get more, like that's
Yeah.
and like even the podcast, like a 45-minute to an hour long podcast, there's a lot of content there, and you're just
Yeah.
like, unless I break it up into this small form, who's
Yeah.
gonna really see it, and are they gonna
Yeah.
want more of it? And yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to all I can say is, like you said, just offer multiple formats, and
Yeah. Pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, and
And
the
then just
people that
pray
want
it finds
more,
the right people, like the people
fair,
who need it. Because, over
true,
the two platforms, there's like almost 3 million views across the two platforms or whatever. But the
yeah,
15 people who have been like, I needed this. I'm like, girl,
right,
you people are who it's for. Like, I'm
that's true,
grateful other people are enjoying it.
yeah,
These other, maybe 5,000 people overall who like actually remember it or took it in to a
yeah,
certain degree. But you people who like reached out to me, I've had
yeah,
people reach out and say, can I talk to you personally? I actually talked to a mother yesterday who reached out to me on both YouTube and Instagram. She's like, please, can I talk to you? My daughter's going through the same thing. And
see,
I was
that's
like, yeah.
that's what it's about,
I
like,
spent 2 hours on the phone with her yesterday, and she texted me afterwards, and she's like, just wept over like the connection,
yeah,
the not feeling alone, because this woman lives in Nowheresville. And I was like, girl, I'm so glad.
and
So
that's
glad
the thing,
I
is the community's not in person always, like
know.
you can reach something like in a completely different place, like
Yeah.
yeah, that's been the coolest thing to me, is like I've met, like I have close friends now that are hours or even 1,000 miles away,
Mhm.
and it's like this,
Yeah.
that the intent is to help the people that need it most, and if like whatever comes on the side is great.
Well, the people that need it most are usually homebound. And I was sad because I couldn't do
Raising
anything
hand,
about it. I can't go to like a local group or start a group.
yeah,
We're all broken in this household. We could start a freaking circus, okay? Because we're just all over.
I'm just
And
gonna raise my hand right now on my
yeah, so I feel like, that was one of the reasons that also drove me to start YouTube instead. Was I was
yeah,
like, there's people online, like trying to find community, and people feel safe to kind of divulge on there because it's not as personal. And I'm
well,
like,
always.
I want to be sick of that. I want to, and there's actually even an element that like, I remember I was thinking about this lady yesterday, and she was talking about, getting, I think at some point, I think that was her, it might have been another conversation I was having
Mhm.
about getting better. And I was like, or there was a lady in my church. She's like, well, I hope you get better. And I'm like, I don't, because I feel like I'm in the mud with my kids. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm in the mud with the people who are suffering. And there's something about when people are suffering when you are suffering with them at the same level, that there's this comfort. And there's actually a scripture that talks about we are comforting those with the same comfort that we've been comforted with in our suffering. And I'm like, if this is where
Ooh,
I'm supposed to be, I have peace with that, because
yeah.
I don't want my kid to suffer on her own. Like, I don't want these people who are, talking through the internet. Like, I mean, I would love to be healed, right? Like, there's, come on.
Well,
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
don't tempt me with a healing now.
You
But at the same
you
time,
wouldn't
it's
say
just like,
no.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is that element where I'm like, I'm content to be here because it's bringing others comfort, and it's
Mhm.
bringing them hope. And that makes it tolerable. When it comes from outside of yourself, the reason why you're doing something, it makes you suffer and endure so much better.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, and I think that's probably the quote of the episode, actually, about comfort.
Yeah.
That's really the truth, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's been really great, Sydney, and I really am glad to have you on, and like to meet you like at the beginning sort of your social media
Yeah.
endeavor. But so for people that want to follow, though, like on Instagram, you're but if not 90, but on YouTube, is that the same, or how do they find you on there?
Yeah,
Okay.
but if not, with underscores in between but if and not. And then on Instagram it's 90 because somebody else had taken the other thing. So
Of course, sometimes you
I
get the
had to
number
throw 90
forced
on
on
the
you.
end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, those are the two platforms. I don't
Yeah.
have anything else. So
That's actually keeping it to two is it's not a bad strategy in my
I don't think I
opinion.
can handle anymore.
There's
My
50 of
sister's
them
like,
now.
do TikTok. And I'm like, I don't think I
Or
can.
Facebook, the old school. Yeah, it's just
I don't
like,
think I
oh
can do
man.
it.
Yep, I
I didn't
agree.
even know
I
how to
agree.
answer comments on Instagram, and that video blew up, and I'm like, I don't know where to respond to
You're like,
people. And there's
what
like
is this?
80 comments. What do
Yeah.
I do?
Yeah. But I'm glad you're posting it and I'm looking forward to the podcast too. I'll be watching for sure.